name is Maria Gonzalez, and I am a co-founder and member of Georgia Safe Schools Coalition. And essentially what we do at Georgia Safe Schools Coalition is try and create schools across Georgia that provide a safe and affirming environment for all students regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity expression. And we do that in a number of ways. We do that by creating awareness, particularly on how to make schools safer. And so one of the things we focus on is educating teachers, principals, school counselors, for instance, on how they can do that. There's such a huge misconception among educators on how to deal with transgender students, what pronouns to use, issues of dress code, bullying, bathroom usage, all of those things. There's such huge misconceptions. I'm supposed to be an advocate for all students, regardless of their gender identity expression, regardless of their sexual orientation. And so professionally, I do it because I'm called upon to do so. And personally, I'm an activist because I know it's the right thing to do, because I've seen firsthand the bullying and harassment that transgender youth go through on a day-to-day basis at schools.
Hello, peace. My name is Jillian Ford, and I am just finishing up my graduate studies at Emory University in social justice education. I am a volunteer at Youth Pride, and one of the things that I do here is co-facilitate a group called the Empowerment Forum, which is also meets on Monday evenings, actually at the same time as Trans and Friends.
Trans and Friends is a forum to facilitate open dialogue and activism around social issues, encouraging a beloved community in a transient world. We do take a feminist approach to how we and I say we because there is a co-facilitator who's also feminist-minded.
And one of the things that we love doing is encouraging Youth from Empowerment Forum, which is a forum for youth of color, to come on down to Trans and Friends, as well as Sir Jesse encourages the Trans and Friends youth to come over to Empowerment Forum.
They might want to discuss just what's in the news, or they might want to discuss family reaction to their gender formation, or the gender exploration in figuring out what they want to do. A lot of youth come and they immediately start asking about where can I get surgery and hormones, and so they really kind of jump on the medical questioning route first. And then the approach that we take at Trans and Friends is to kind of get the youth to slow their processing down a little bit, because they've usually done a lot of internet research by then.
I first became involved with Georgia Safe Schools Coalition actually pretty much at the beginning. I was really honored to kind of be literally at this table shooting out ideas for what we could do to try to make Georgia schools a safe place for all children.
Well, we're really excited to be filming this companion DVD. We knew when we filmed the first documentary, Be There For Me, Collective Memory of Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgendered Youth, that we really had missed a part of the community, and that being the transgender, questioning, and queer community. And so we decided to target that. And we know that it's hard to get participants in those kinds of communities, so we're really happy that SJ came on.
The trans youth and questioning youth often are invisible in schools, or if they're not invisible, they're very I don't know what you would say, the opposite of invisible, obviously different in some way. So it's real important for this project to happen with the involvement of trans, queer, questioning youth.
Unfortunately, we've had suicides of people who identify as queer youth or people who don't. We've had, major silences around transgender youth in schools. And one thing that was really important in the first documentary that we did is that we had so many perspectives of faith, what it meant for lesbian, gay, bisexual, queer youth to have faith, what it was like for them to be in schools, some of the positive experiences they actually had in Georgia schools, and of course some of the negative experiences. I think what we've learned from the youth in this project is they really want to just be who they are. And my heart breaks when I think that we have school environments where they might not feel that, because that we just know that when youth don't feel connected or supported, they're not going to achieve academically. They're not going to fulfill their potential. So, yeah, I do think it comes down to what's in our heart and also what we deliver in terms of our own messages around gender. You know, this piece is really about highlighting how transgender, queer, questioning youth, what their experiences are in school, because they're so invisible. Schools really aren't equipped to support them, and we really want to make sure that these youth move from a place of resilience to thriving.
My name is Austin, 23, and I am a Black African-American male. I didn't know what it was called. I just knew that I was being treated like my mom, and I knew I was like my dad, simply put. Like, I can't, you know, because they were feelings. That it was how I felt. And how I feel like people perceived me and how they treated me wasn't right as far as males and females.
Yeah.
And those were the two, you know, people in the world, males and females. But really, for me, if I feel like then there's me in the middle, you know. It was really rough because I didn't have anybody to talk to, and I felt like roles were already planned out, but I knew I didn't fit it. High school was pretty cool. It was an adjustment period for myself and getting used to the idea that I was different. I went through a lot of hard time prior to that and really didn't tell anybody just because I didn't want to make a fuss or anything like that. I don't know. High school, it was mixed. I had pretty fair, nothing out of the ordinary, as far as trouble goes. And the only difference between me and, you know, just another person would be that I was going through finding who I was and accepting that and being true to myself.